With its light start, brilliant sunshine, and the ancient town of Piran, and the still snow-capped Slovenian Alps as a backdrop, the day could not have been better for the 44 Cup fleet to blow away any cobwebs after such a long absence. The start was tough for us sail team Arlofs, Hughes Lepic, but in the end it worked out okay. Despite losing a crew person overboard after a winch handle broke, Team Arlof held second overall, on the same points at Team Siref, which bracketed their race 2 win with 2 deeper results. They rounded up and quickly retrieved their crew, and did not lose many positions in the tightly packed fleet, as they rounded the mark.
This is the Sailing World on Water, May 28, 2021. Here are highlights of the global sport of sailing in the last 7 days. As we saw, Arlof had a man overboard situation, and they rounded up and retrieved their crew in 28 seconds, and they didn't interfere with the charging fleet heading to the close mark. Pro crew or not, that was impressive. It was a light start, brilliant sunshine, and the ancient town of Piran, and the still snow-capped Slovenian Alps as a backdrop. The day could not have been better for the 44 Cup fleet to blow away any cobwebs after such a long absence due to the pandemic. Racing got underway at the Royal Ocean Racing Club's Vice Admirals Cup on Saturday the 22nd of May with 4 highly competitive races for all 8 classes. The gale that had blown through the Solent the previous day had passed. Some of the best sailors and teams in the world will take up the challenge of the Ocean Race Europe next month, racing in stages from Lorient, France to Genova, Italy. The teams will compete in the One Design, VO65 fleet, and the innovative M.O.B class. Female sailors will feature on every crew in the race. Historical replica 18-footer, Britannia, has finished 2020-21, their 19th season of racing on Sydney Harbour, with the historical 18s fleet at the Sydney Flying Squadron. 4 magnificent days of 44 Cup racing in Portorož, Slovenia, concluded with further 20-plus knot winds, flat water and sun, but mixed fortunes. Now over to day 1 of the 44 Cup.
Following a long absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Portorož in Slovenia is hosting the opening race of the 2021 44 Cup. This is backed by Vladimir Prosikin and Igor Lar, owners of Team Nika and Team Siref respectively. Team Siref is the 44 Cup Slovenian RC44, while 2 key Team Nika crew once represented Slovenia in the Olympic Games and come from Portorož. One, Mitja Margon, is this event's organiser.
This event, as class manager Bertrand said, that it's the 3rd time we organize it, because it was supposed to be last April, then was postponed to September, and now finally in April. And the challenges were really huge. Of course, the support of the owners, especially of Siref and Team Nika, Igor and Vladimir, let the class know that they are ready, and the class pushed also us as organizer to do everything possible to start this ball rolling.
With new tactician Spain's Manu Weiler, Team Nika posted by far the most consistent results on the opening day of the 44 Cup Portorož, coming ashore with a 4-point lead. Meanwhile, behind her the competition is far closer, with just 4 points separating 2nd from 7th places. Team Nika's performance might have been even better until the final beat of the final race. They were leading, but were overtaken, bounced away by boats on starboard tack on 2 occasions. Atom Tavitu was leading at the final top mark rounding, but the Russian team then got pipped to the post by Hughes Lepic's Team Aleph.
We were quite disappointed last race. I didn't see any big mistakes. 2 times we tried to cross the fleet, and 2 times we couldn't.
Racing resumes tomorrow when stronger winds are forecast.
We were missing this RC44 regatta so much. It's like coming back home, like a family.
Racing got underway at the Royal Ocean Racing Club's Vice Admirals Cup on Saturday, the 22nd of May, with 4 highly competitive races for all 8 classes. The gale that had blown through the Solent the previous day had passed, but there was a moody sky as the 55-strong fleet headed out to the combat zone. A gentle breeze from the southwest oscillated during the day, providing shifty conditions. In the fast 40-plus class, Niklas Zennströms won 2 of their class races to finish the day top of the leaderboard. Peter Morton's Gene Genie is in second place, no doubt enjoying his first race victory in his new boat, beating Ran by just over a minute in race 3. Christian Hamilton and Guy Gillen's fast 40-plus, Kumbu, got off to a great start, taking line honors, the corrected time win in race 1. Kumbu finished the day in third place, just 2 points ahead of Ino 30, with Rourke Commodore James Neville at the helm. Day 2 in the other classes saw, in the quarter-tonner class, Sam Laidlaw's BLT leads the class, having claimed 2 race wins. Rob Bottomley's Mills 42, Sailplane 3, had a spectacular day, scoring 3 bullets to top the Performance 40 class. Tony Max McFly leads the class by just 1 point from Cornell Rickland's Jitterbug, with both boats scoring a pair of wins each in the J111 class. David Richards, Jumping Jellyfish, leads the J109 class after 4 races. Russell Peters, Squirt, had a perfect start to the Cape 31 UK season, winning all of today's races. Glyn Locks, Toucan, opened their defense of their Vice Admirals Cup title with 3 straight bullets. And the SB20 class was an awesome sight today, especially in the final race, scorching downwind in a ball of spray. Stephen Proctor's Excellent scored 3 impressive race wins. The Royal Ocean Racing Club's Vice Admirals Cup then came to a conclusion on Sunday the 23rd of May, after 2 days of racing in fresh to feisty conditions in the Solent. The final day of racing produced more challenging conditions for the high-performance classes racing under IRC and One Design class rules. A gentle southwesterly wind with clear skies was soon replaced by a significant rain squall, with over 20 knots of breeze, gusting over 25 on occasions. Congratulations to the 8 class winners: Niklas Zennströms, Ran, Rob Bottomley's Sailplane 3, Glyn Locks, Toucan, Sam Laidlaw's BLT, Tony Max McFly, David Richards, Jumping Jellyfish, Russell Peters, Squirt, and Stephen Proctor's Excellent. Racing with the Royal Ocean Racing Club continues next weekend, with the 230 nautical mile offshore Myth of Malham race. The first major offshore race of the year mirrors the start of the Rolex Fastnet race. Well over 100 boats are expected, which will be an impressive sight, starting from the Royal Yacht Squadron line on tomorrow, Saturday, the 29th of May.
The Ocean Race Europe marks a new fully crewed standard, as some of the best sailors and teams in the world will take up the challenge of the Ocean Race Europe, racing in stages from Lorient, France to Genoa, Italy. The teams will compete in 2 classes, the One Design, record-breaking VO65 fleet, and the innovative, No Limits, IMOCA class. Female sailors will feature on every crew in the race. 7 teams are expected in the VO65 class, including entries from Austria, Lithuania, Mexico, the Netherlands, Poland, and Portugal. All the teams are seeing this event as the first stop on the road to the 2022-23 edition of the Ocean Race, which will mark the 50th anniversary of the race. In the European event, new sailors will be making their competitive debut, alongside race veterans like 8-time competitor in the ocean race, Bao Becking, who was recently announced as skipper of Sailing Team Poland. I think the Ocean Race Europe is a superb way to show the world that Poland is an important up-and-coming market, while recognizing that sustainability and respect for the environment will be key elements to successful growth, Becking said. From what I can see, many of the other VO65 teams will be taking a similar approach to what we are doing at Sailing Team Poland, by bringing in some experience and some young blood too. We have guys like myself, Pablo Arate, Jens Dolmer, Axel Magdal, with a few races under our belt. But we're also bringing in some great young Polish sailors, men and women, who have good achievements in Olympic classes or smaller offshore events, and this is their chance to learn and grow and experience the ocean race. There will be at least 5 entries in the IMOCA fleet, representing France, Germany and the USA. We're really looking forward to getting to grips with racing our IMOCA in a fully crewed mode, said linked-out skipper Thomas Ruyant. It changes everything, from the way the boat handles with the extra weight of the crew, to our ability to do maneuvers more efficiently, which also has an impact on your tactics. The Ocean Race Europe will start from Lorient, France, on May 29th, with stops in Cascais, Portugal, and Alicante, Spain, before the finish in Genoa, Italy, 3 weeks later. Each of the offshore legs will be scored equally. There will be 2 coastal races during stopovers where bonus points will be available to the top 3 finishers. Here are the Ocean Race Europe's important dates. May 29th, leg start, Lorient, France. June 5th, coastal race, Cascais, Portugal. June 6th, leg start, Cascais, Portugal. June 13th, leg start, Alicante, Spain. June 19th, coastal race, Genoa, Italy. Each offshore leg will last approximately 3 to 4 days depending on distance and weather conditions. The coastal races will have a target time of 3 to 5 hours. The VO65 and IMOCA fleets will be competing in separate divisions for their own the Ocean Race Europe trophy. Prior to the race start in Lorient, 4 of the Northern European-based VO65 teams will be sailing in the Ocean Race Europe prologue, with stops in Klaipėda, Lithuania, Gdynia, Poland, and Stockholm, Sweden. In addition to the on-the-water action, the Ocean Race Europe will support a robust sustainability program, including education initiatives, on-board science data collection, and social and environmental policy roundtable events aimed at driving solutions towards ocean health and reducing the impact of climate change on the ocean. Teams will be encouraged to fully participate through the Ocean Race Guardians Award for Best Sustainable Practice. The Ocean Race Europe provisional list of entered teams are VO65 class, Ambersail 2, Lithuania, Austrian Ocean Race Project, Austria, Mercury Foundation Racing Team, Portugal, Sailing Team Poland, Poland, Viva Mexico, Mexico, IMOCA class, 11th Hour Racing Team, USA, Euro Valley, France, Coram Elepan, France, Linked Out, France, and the offshore team Germany.
Prologue is finished, the first real races for us in general as a team. First of all, that we managed to get here. We look at the very young team in the end, so we are on average just 24 years old overall, and therefore we had to really learn a lot as a group and as a team. And for my feeling in general is that we have achieved a lot and that we learned a lot. So the learning curve that we had in the past few weeks is very steep, and therefore everybody can be proud of what we have done here. We will be a strong team at the start of the tour and very happy to race again.
For the first 44 Cup event in 17 months, Porto-Roche could not have offered better conditions. Slowly winds have been ramping up to 25 knots on this the third and penultimate day of the Slovenian event.
The plan for today is just sail ourselves, to try to sail ourselves. I try to don't think about this because we're just going our way step by step, and now I think we are very close.
In typical 44 Cup style, today's 3 races featured 3 different winners. In the first, John Basadonis Peninsula Racing, including Ed Baird on tactics, joined the dots up the racecourse to lead at the top mark and then clung on to the finish.
We needed that win because the results have been pretty poor. But yeah, I don't feel too bad because I think that the bad results have also been results that could have been pretty good, and it just shows how competitive all these boats are. Considering everything, it's fantastic to be out here to see all the other teams, all our good friends, and just to be out there competing and doing some fantastic racing.
Chris Bake's Team Aqua once again showed the fleet away around the racetrack in the second race. Very impressive, this was their 4th bullet in 5 races. Finally, after an outstanding opening day, followed by a dire day 2 when they seemed to be lacking both speed and luck, Vladimir Prosikin's Team Nika came good in the big conditions to claim today's final race. But today was less about winning races. In fact, neither of the top 2 scoring teams today won a race. Local Slovenian hero Igor Lar on Team CREF had the best day across the 8-boat fleet, regularly nipping at the heels of the leaders and posting a 2.42. The same was true of Atom Tavatui with an equally level 3.34. As a result, these boats have now moved up to 2nd and 3rd places overall behind Team Aqua. Tomorrow is the final day of the 44 Cup Porto-Roche, and 3 races are scheduled in similar conditions. The top 5 RC44s are still just 6 points apart. As a result, who will win and even who will make the podium remains wide open.
The replica of the 1919 Aussie 18-footer Britannia has had a 19th season racing on Sydney Harbour. We race every summer Saturday with a fleet of between 6 and 9 boats, all replicas of 18-footers from the first half of the 20th century. We sailed in 19 races, less than our usual 25 or so, due to a delayed start to our season from concern over COVID regulations, and a couple of cancelled races. We're thankful that we were able to do it at all, thanks to good community and government response to suppressing COVID. It wasn't a great season in terms of racing success for us, largely, I have to say, due to the unusually large number of light weather races, which don't suit Britannia at all. Our one win in the Australia Day regatta, of which we have no footage I'm afraid, and our 3 seconds and 2 thirds were all in fresh condition. Each boat has multiple rigs or combinations for different conditions. Britannia has 5 combinations, from our towering number 1 rig of 750 square feet or 70 square metres in the main and jib for light breezes, to our snug storm rig of 300 square feet or about 28 square metres.
Balance, is everything good? Wind's on the beam, no kites. Somebody can bail though.
Sails other than the main and jib are referred to as extras. We carry peak head spinnakers slung from the peak of the gaff, and masthead spinnakers in fresher conditions. Spinnakers are hoisted in wool stops and poled out on 2 to 4 part poles with no topping lift. Generally, if we want to use the same spinnaker again, the forward hand will wool it on the upwind leg. Balloon jibs or ballooners are used on reaching legs, and ringtails an extension to the main downwind. Ringtails are sometimes an effort to hoist, and sometimes difficult to bring back in, especially if we have unfamiliar crew on board.
Come on, grab the back end and pull it in.
This season I had Sydney sailmakers modify the head to a triangle to make it a bit easier. For the first time in 5 seasons, we didn't win the Ferguson Ringtail Cup for the most ringtails hoisted. We were beaten by Australia 4. We launch from the park next to our clubhouse in Careening Cove. Sometimes we sail out, sometimes we're towed out. And sometimes towed home. We follow the original boat's tradition of run at the end of each race. We used to pass it around, now we serve individual shots. We Georgia used to call it block and tackle. 1 nip you'd do your block, 2 nips you'd tackle anyone. A spectator ferry follows the fleet, usually the radar seen here. This season repainted in indigenous patterns.
Start bringing it on now. Get up there, swing hard.
Most of our starts are handicap starts, a tradition started in 1891 by our founder Mark Foy, where the slower boats start first and the faster boats have to chase. This season there were mostly 3 to 4 boats on the limit of 15, mostly including Britannia. There were 6 championship races this season, 3 for the club championship and 3 for the Australian championship. And these races all had scratch starts.
Have a look at John winning now in this boat. He's got the big sails on, new sails, and he's now pulling away.
We were a bit late for this one.
Okay, swing it hard. Bring them on. Bring them right on. Bring them on. Bring them on.
Nice and slow.
Okay, let's have some heel though. Let's have some heel. More heel.
Lean in.
There was a false start in the second heat of the Australian Championship, and I reckon some were over in the restart as well.
That's it. Nobody over the line, and Scott probably got the best start. He's the one with the yellow.
Due to COVID, our Irish mate Harold Cudmore was unable to come out here as he has for the last 18 or so years. But the boat he usually sails lately, Yendes, still won the series and the Galloping Ghost Trophy, steered by Kiwi Josh Perebski and a crew of legends.
That's a bit low.
I've been having a Marvel week. I've been watching all the Marvel movies. I love it.
You know they're not real.
Huh?
You know they're not real.
Really? I thought they were documentaries.
Well, another season down.
The last day of the 44 Cup Porto Roche again saw 20 plus knot conditions, gusts and shifts, which made for a close, high adrenaline racing and plenty of opportunities on the racecourse.
For this regatta in Porto Roche, we're likely to have 12 races. There's no discard, and the goal is just being there in every race. You must avoid the traps and coming 6th, 7th, 8th. Wherever you can, if you can fight for one more place, then you get one less point, someone else gets one more point. So the 44 class is about consistency. It's usually a fight to the last race, so the last days are always fun.
After a difficult second day, Igor Lar's local Slovenian team, Team CREF, was most consistent yesterday and today built on this, posting initially a second. This was followed in race 2 by a come-from-behind win as Torben Tornquist Artemis Racing, for the first time at this event, led round the top mark. Team CREF chose to drive early, causing her to cruise into the lead, upon which she then consolidated.
No, for us, winning in Slovenia is almost like winning the World Championships. Also, we heard that there are skis of Elan. For first place, we wanted to keep Elan in Slovenia. I'm really happy. It's the first time we are winning Slovenian event, and I'm really looking forward for next event in Sweden.
Going from 5th place to 3rd on the final run of the final race was enough for the Slovenian team to win the 44 Cup Porto Roche by 5 points from Vladimir Prosikin's Team Nika.
We are very much happy with our result. To be second here is very, very good, because look at this fleet. The fleet is fantastic, and it's such a fun to sail and to race against them, because there are no weak boats, no beginners, everyone is so good.
Meanwhile, a battle royal was taking place for the final rung of the podium. After managing a perfect scoreline of 3 bullets on Friday, followed by one more race win yesterday, Team Aqua had a miserable start to the day, which dropped her from 1st place to 4th. Fortunately, they fought back in the final race to come home 2nd, enough to displace Atom Tavatui. The Russian team's 4th place, nonetheless, was their best result since joining the class in 2019. The 44 Cup Porto Roche saw a return to racing in the high-performance owner-driver one design class for the first time in 17 months. It was a tribute to the RC44 owners and the class that this event was able to take place.
We had perfect conditions, and I think Porto Roche proved again that it's not just a light wind event, but it can be also some splashing around the boats.
The 44 Cup will resume in Marstrand, Sweden over the 1st to 4th of July.